Welcome. Italy, the Italian Republic. Unit 5, Country Analysis by Antonio, Armando, Ben, Nathan, and Paul. The Italian Republic, by its official name, or as we know it as Italy. Up until the Second World War, Italy was ruled by kings. But on June 1946, Italians voted to abolish the monarchy in a referendum and became a democratic republic. Present-day Italy gained its independence March 17, 1861. The Italian peninsula has a long history of invaders and rulers, from the Romans to the Muslims, to the Germans, the Normans, the French, Spaniards, and even Austria. Italy, a European country with a long Mediterranean coastline, has left a powerful mark on the Western culture and cuisine. Its capital, Rome, is home of the Vatican, as well as landmark art and ancient ruins. Other major cities include Florence, with Renaissance masterpieces such as Michelangelo's David, Venice, the city of canals, and Milan, Italy's fashion capital. Mainland Italy extends southward into the Mediterranean Sea as a boot-shaped peninsula. To the north, the Alps separate Italy from France, Switzerland, Austria, and Slovenia, then runs long south along the Adriatic Sea. The total land area, including Sicily and Sardinia, is 113,568 square miles. In reference, slightly larger than Arizona. Climate, predominantly Mediterranean, alpine to the north, hot, dry to the south. Terrain is mostly rugged and mountainous. Areas of plain are limited to about one-fifth of the total area of the country. Much of Italy is volcanic in origin, and today a few of its many volcanoes are active. The current population of Italy is 60,495,393. Total population density is 532 people per square mile. Italy is a democratic republic since 1946. The politics are conducted through a parliamentary republic with a multi-party system. The three branches of power in Italy: the executive, legislative, and judicial. The executive power is in the hands of the prime minister. The legislative power belongs to the parliament, and the judicial power belongs to the judges. The current president is Mr. Mattarella. As head of the state, the president serves as a point of connection between the three branches, as he is elected by the lawmakers. The president appoints the prime minister. The current prime minister is Mr. Conte.
Official language of Italy. Italian is the official language of Italy, with 93% of the population being native Italian speakers. Around 50% of the population speak a regional dialect as a mother tongue. Many dialects are commonly impossible to understand and thus considered by linguists as separate languages and are not officially recognized. Foreign and minority language spoken in Italy. Friulian is a dialect spoken by 600,000 people in the northeast of Italy, which is 1% of the entire population. Other northern minority languages include Ladin, Slovene, German, which enjoys equal recognition with Italian in the province of Alto Adige, and French, which is legally recognized in the Alpine region of the Val d'Aosta. Albanian is spoken by 0.2% of the population, mainly in the southern part of Italy, as two are Croatian and Greek. Catalan is spoken in one city, Alghero, on the island of Sardinia, by around 0.07% of the population. On the rest of the island, Sardinian is spoken by over 1 million, which comes to 1.7% of the total Italian population. Several other languages are spoken in Italy. Severely endangered languages of this country include Greco in both Calabria and Salento, Guardiol, Bastise, Toishu, and Molise Croatian. Greco is the language of the Greco people, who are believed to be descendants of ancient Greek communities in southern Italy. Because of this, the Greco language is considered a living artifact of the Magna Graecia. This language has between 40,000 and 50,000 second language speakers and belongs to the Hellenic language group, under the Italian group subcategory. Guardiol is considered a dialect of the Occitan language, spoken in the town of Guardia Piemontese in the Calabria region. Batese is so rare that it's only spoken by inhabitants of the town of Basto. Most of the native speakers are between the ages of 80 and 90, while middle-aged adults have an only auditory command of this language. Most children have little to no comprehension of Bastese. It is considered a separate language and not a dialect of Italian. Toishu is a dialect of Alemannic and spoken throughout the Piedmont and Aosta Valley of Italy. This dialect is also known as Walser German and is not mutually intelligible with Swiss or Standard German. Molise Croatian is a dialect of Serbo-Croatian. It is spoken throughout the Campobasso province of Italy by the Italian Croats population. Today, this language has less than 1,000 native speakers. Business languages. Currently, English is the most used foreign language. English, French, and German are frequently spoken in tourist resorts, as in these areas Italians are obliged to communicate with foreigners in order to conduct their businesses. German is widespread in some areas, in the northeast regions. The use of a professional translator is widespread amongst businessmen. Literacy rate. Italy has, according to UNESCO, an adult literacy rate of 98.85, with a male literacy rate of 99.14 and a female literacy rate of 98.58%. Time zone. Italy has only one time zone, Central European Time, UTC plus 1, which is used as standard time, while the Central European Summer Time, UTC plus 2, is observed when daylight saving time is in force, which will commence in March 29 of 2020. The exchange rate. The official currency of Italy is the euro. Even though the country is still somewhat a cash-based economy, you won't be paying cash all the time, as there are shops and merchants in Italy that are well equipped to accept card payments. Currently, the exchange rate of the euro is 1 euro amounts to 1.08 US dollars, or 1 US dollar amounts to 0.92 euros. Full-time work in Italy. In general, Italians try to reconcile work with private life, reserving enough time for family and private interests. However, the high unemployment rate and the growth of new variations of part-time and temporary jobs are currently placing higher pressure on younger people who are looking for and trying to keep a job. In the private sector, Italians tend to work long hours. A typical work week's working hours is from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. and from 2:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. from Monday to Friday. Frequently, you can find people still at work after 6 p.m. This is especially true for managers who tend to take work home for the weekend or stay longer at the office. In the public sector, typical working hours are from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. from Monday to Saturday. However, many public offices compensate for being closed on Saturdays with a couple of working afternoons. According to this schedule, the morning meetings can easily be scheduled at 9:30. A late morning appointment can be placed at from 11 to 12 a.m. and an after lunch meeting can be arranged around 2:30 to 3 p.m. Lunch breaks are normally kept at a minimum, especially in large cities. Occasionally, however, lunches with Italian business partners can be quite sophisticated and long-lasting. In such cases, lunches are used to build and reinforce a personal partnership, especially during first meetings. National and public holidays. Summer holidays are usually taken during August, when most large industries are closed. The second choice is July. This must be considered when planning a meeting or trying to contact a company during the summer. The period between Christmas, New Year Day, and Epiphany is characterized by reduced business activity. Some of the main holidays in Italy include New Year's Day, Epiphany, Easter Monday, Liberation Day, Labor Day, Republic Day, Assumption Day, All Saints Day, Immaculate Conception Day, Christmas Day, and St. Stephen's Day. In addition, all Italian cities celebrate the patron saint as a legal holiday. All businesses are closed on St. John's Day in Florence and Genoa, St. Peter's Day in Rome, St. Rosalia's Day in Palermo, St. Gennaro's Day in Naples, and St. Ambrogio's Day in Milan.
Italy is the world's ninth biggest economy. Its economic structure relies mainly on services and manufacturing. The services sector accounts for almost three-quarters of total GDP and employs around 65% of the country's total employed people. Within the service sector, the most important contributors are the wholesale, retail sales, and transportation sectors. Industry accounts for a quarter of Italy's total production and employs around 30% of the total workforce. Manufacturing is the most important subsector within the industry sector. Being a country with very few natural resources, Italy is strongly dependent on oil imports. The economy was hit hard by the two oil crises during the 1970s. As a result, it experienced a stage of stagflation, weak economic growth combined with high unemployment, and a high inflation rate. The economy began to recover in the early 1980s due to the implementation of a recovery. Rankings of the country on the 2019 Index of Financial Freedom include property rights at 71.7, government integrity at 43.7, with a tax burden of 55.6, fiscal health at 71. Italy's current population is 60.6 million people, with a gross domestic product in terms of purchasing power parity of $2.3 trillion. The GDP has shown a 1.5% growth rate, with a 5-year compound annual growth of 0.
Italian competitiveness. Overall, Italy ranks 31st in global competitiveness. They rank high in health, 6th, market size, 12th, infrastructure, 21st, and innovation capacity, 22nd. Italy lags behind in labor markets, 79th, macroeconomic stability, 58th, institutions, 56th, and ICT adoption, 52nd. Italian competitiveness is hindered by the corruption and inefficiencies in the government and institutions and government spending. Italy has a well-developed and extensive road and rail network. The road and rail network is concentrated in the north and central parts of the country. Due to corruption and mismanagement, many infrastructure projects have been tabled and others are not necessary have been pushed forward. Italians are heavy mobile phone users and embrace this over other forms of communication and internet access. The telecommunications and internet are dominated by the formerly state-run telecom. This dominance has limited competition and innovation in this area.
The healthcare system in Italy is continually ranked among the best in the world. It provides healthcare to every legal resident, either for free or at a minimal cost. The system is administered through the National Health Service and is organized by region and then by districts within each region. Plans are funded by both regional and national taxes, and the amount that each resident pays is determined by the income bracket that is declared at the time. In terms of overall healthcare expenditures, Italians spend 8.8% of their gross domestic product, which is lower than the European Union average of 9.8%. The number of doctors employed per 1,000 population is 4, which is higher than the European Union average of 3.6. Although the number of doctors per population is overall, the Italian population is considered to be healthy. This is attributed primarily to an active lifestyle that includes walking and other physical activities, and a diet that is rich in fresh fruit and vegetables and low in animal fats. While Italians typically enjoy a glass or two of wine with dinner, the amount of alcohol consumed is traditionally less than when compared with us here in the US. These factors all contribute to a low nationwide obesity rate of 10%. One of the major healthcare risks in Italy is smoking. Although the trend has shown signs of reduction over the past several years, over 22% of adults in Italy report smoking daily. Another problem that poses We hope you've enjoyed listening to our presentation on Italy today. As a founding member of the European Union, Italy has constantly been at the forefront of Europe's economic growth and development. The country has a deep and rich history and culture which includes a unique and varied regional cuisine, making the country